Sorry.
Oh, no problem. I can start again, just make sure you're on the recording. Welcome to the 2024 International Fire Code TAG Meeting of Tuesday, May 21st, 2024. It is approximately 2:12. We're getting started here. Just a quick update on the chair position. The governor's office is supposed to be doing some additional interviewing. So hopefully we'll have an official chair by the time we have a meeting in one of the meetings coming up. So with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting. Staff can do a roll call of the TAG members.
Just give me one moment. Chair alternate Roger Heringa is absent today. For architect primary, Ning Wang. Let me get my participants list up here too. And I don't see her in the room. Alternate Jacob Liddycoat.
Here.
Thank you. For building official primary, Quinn Tai. I'm not seeing him in the attendees list today. And alternate for the building official, Ray Shipman. And I'm not seeing him in the attendees list either. For fire officials, Ken Brulette.
Here.
Thank you. For cities and counties, Hugo Sotelo. I'm not seeing him in here. For home builders and affordable housing developers, Mike Nykram. Not seeing him in the attendees list. For general contractor or developer, I have Bill Mybush.
Present.
Thank you. For manufacturer supplier, Ricky Campbell.
Present.
Thank you. For fire protection engineer primary, Walker Danucci. Not seeing him in attendance today. For the alternate, Dave Cocott. Present. For fire sprinkler industry, Sean Morgan.
Present.
Thank you. For the fire sprinkler industry alternate, Kevin Marr.
Present.
Thank you. For fire alarm industry primary, David Mao, sorry.
Here.
Thank you. For the alternate, Zachary Tuck.
Present.
Thank you. And for fire chief, Lance Dahl.
Here.
Thank you. With that, we have a quorum today.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else that's not on the tag would like to introduce themselves to the group? Not seeing any names coming up. Let's go ahead and go to review and approve the agenda. It's in front of us here. We have just a short agenda of going through a couple chapters today. I'm looking for
Dave, this is Ricky Campbell. I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda as distributed.
motion to approve. Do I get a second?
Second. This is Bill.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? We're moving on. Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the May 14th, 2024 meeting. Those are now up on the screen. And I believe those were two also distributed out, weren't they, Dustin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I know I looked at it, but I'm not sure I else got it. Any questions, concerns, changes to the minutes?
Can you scroll back to the attendees? Thank you.
And there are no comments. I'll be looking for a motion to approve.
Lance Dahl, motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second. This is Bill.
Moved and seconded to accept the Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? moving on. Okay, we go right into the scope of review of work completed and received by staff. So I'm gonna turn back over to Dustin to go ahead and take care of these particular sections, starting off with chapter 49.
Okay, so with chapter 49, we went over the state amendment for this one at our last meeting. This chapter consists only of a state amendment for passenger rails. The title completely escapes me at the moment. But Walker presented keeping all of the amendment, but maybe updating it to be more current with the NFPA 130. He did submit a Word document to review at today's meeting, but he's not here, and I'm hoping that we didn't leave him in the other meeting room. But do we want to go over that without him, or do we want to? And similarly, chapter 12 with Quintai was decided to kind of hold off on that one until he could be here to speak on his work as well. So we're missing the two authors for those first two topics. Do we want to go ahead and hit those today while we've got some people here and the time? Or do we want to skip to chapter 80 and see if we can maybe link up with those two later? I've been asking the group on that one.
We can go ahead and go to 80 and see if the other two show up, but I think that the 80 discussion will actually address 49 and 12 as well.
Okay, that sounds great. So let me make sure I'm pulling up the right 80 from you, Dave. Did you just send another one of these in just the other day, right?
I did, yes. I'm pulling mine up because I think it was a UL one I modified. Yeah, I did some changes to page 583, so.
Would you
But-
mind sharing that on your screen? For some reason, the documents I have in my folders right now are not the ones I was expecting to find there.
Okay, let's see. Okay, be able to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one of the things I did with chapter 80, and thank you, Ken, for pointing out last time I didn't have the other amendments in here because I was totally focused on the state amendments, but there were some other sections or other references were added back into the code, and actually a couple of those are indicated here with the original amendment, and they've been updated, or at least the reference has been updated. So UL 227216 in the new code is still 2272/2016, but the reference has been changed to 322.3. And a similar situation with UL 2849/2020. It's the same thing, but there's some much slight numbering differences. So it's actually 322.3 in that one as well. I didn't see any other amendments to those we had with it, but that's the amendment we had in there. So I don't know if we just had the wrong number with it or something like that. So the other thing that I did notice is those sections that we had for the prior, and I don't think I got a chance to get through all those because I started getting through this and I didn't have the version of the 2021 code or 2024 code for those chapters, because all I had was chapter 80. I happen to have chapter 3 that Dustin had sent to me earlier. So the other sections that were in there, I didn't have copies of to verify for sure that if we had an amendment to it, did we change the particular standard reference? And it occurred to me that rather than kind of playing catch up with this, the standards have been updated with the newer code. I think it's a matter of just we can go through and use this chapter as we go through the other chapters to make sure that the code references have been updated properly. And that would make it a little bit easier than having to kind of keep bringing this one back up with the particular code changes that are going on with each particular chapter. So My suggestion for the tag is that we can keep this updated as we go along. But basically, once we're done with all of the amendments, then we'll be able to have a document that is addressing each of the code sections that or chapters that we're going through with our review. So that's pretty much my summary for this one. I plan on keeping my eyes on this and updating it as we get other standards and other things updated. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to see some code proposals coming in that are going to update this as well further. So I don't see a problem with us holding off and approving this one, just up at maintaining it as a working document.
I think that sounds like a good plan on that one. So we don't have any reason to move this one to our master document until we kind of finish the review with everything else then is
Yeah.
what.
That'd be my suggestion.
Okay, I like that. One of our other staff is hopping over to the old meeting just to see if anybody else has shown up over there. Do we want to hop into chapter 49 on this one and take a look at what Walker sent over for the Word document and his suggested edits?
Let's go and do that, because if there's a reference, I'll keep the chapter 80 up on my screen. I can tell you if it's been updated or not too.
Okay. All right, so you guys should be seeing Walker's work here, and he has gone through and made some changes to this. I honestly didn't have time to go through and see exactly what his changes might be, but this looks like it is just all of our WAC language copied into the Word document. And he's got some colors here, and I'm just not understanding exactly what all he's got showing here. So I need to pull up our WAC, I guess, alongside this just to kind of check it out. So give me one moment to grab that. All right. So it looks like he's proposing adding in a 2013 for the year in 4901.1.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I don't think that's the right addition.
No. So I don't have access to NFPA library. Does anybody know what the current edition should be?
The amendment actually has in chapter 80's amendment has 130-20.
So do we agree that 2020 would be the best one to have in here for this reference?
Well, that would at least be for the 21 code, but I don't know if they updated it to say the 23 as part of the 24 code or not.
Yeah, I'm logging into NFP link, just double checking.
Yeah, and Ken, I figured you had all the sections, so.
I'm trying. If I can just remember all of my passwords.
I'm on NFPA link in, and the latest edition is the 2023.
2023, okay.
Yep, that's it.
That'd be appropriate to change this to 2023. It's
Yep.
possible he just he hit
May have mistyped it.
the 1 instead of a 2 there. All
And it
right.
also, that is an amendment because we don't have that in the model code, so, which I think is interesting. So it's not in the model code chapter 80, so I'm adding it in as an option, so we'll have that.
Okay. And then let's see, in 4901.3, he changes a little bit and adds another section and 5.4.4.2 into this one. And I don't have any comments on this one as for why he might be putting that one in there.
So
would've-
you said he's including 5.4.4.2?
It looks like it, yeah. So I think I'm gonna make it a surmisation. Sorry, my words are bad. The green text is going to be his proposed edits, and any red text is changes needed to insert those proposed edits.
Okay. Yeah, because the 5.4.4.2, the distance is at 20 feet. That's what got added, so I can see why he we changed 5.4.4.2 and we added in there. Located from public spaces. Yeah, so the state modified that. That's why he included that in there. That makes sense.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good. And then
so
the,
so
go
he's
ahead,
still
Dave.
following green is the amendments and then red is the strikeout, so.
Right. So this would be the amendment to the
But-
state amendment is what we're looking
Yeah.
at.
But the
Now,
okay. So you don't want to show what else got amended from 130? The by a distance of 20 feet got added also? Or are
I
we
would
just
be happy to show it, but this is all that I got from Walker from 130. And so I don't have access to that document to show.
okay?
Do you want to share screen at all, Ken?
No, I'm just trying to just trying to figure out, do we need to? I'm just trying to figure out what you're if you're going to show that you're only making changes to an existing state amendment, or are you going to show that you're I don't know.
We should be showing the current amendment and any modifications to it here. So if the original amendment, was the original amendment all of 5.4.4.2?
Yes, because the original 5.4.4.2 reads, sprinkler protection shall be permitted to be omitted in areas of open stations remotely located from public spaces.
Okay.
And then our change adds the 20 feet and
We add the word we added the word separated. Yeah, we add a lot. It got reworded.
Yeah, so I get
So-
the proper amended language in here to show what the amendment is.
okay. So I think when we looked at what Walker submitted at the last time, he had just shown I'll show you guys what we delivered out to him on that one. And so he got just a Word document with the state amendment pasted in there. And so what he sent back to us, we didn't see any differences from the model NFPA 130 shown in his documents. So I don't know if I have that in my arsenal of things here to show out.
Yeah, so it looks like we probably have to have some clarity then to make sure we get this taken care of properly.
So in 5.4.4.2, we need some additional work to check out what's going on in here as far as what the amendment is and what Walker's proposed change is going to be.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So on that one, do we want to wait to have input from Walker before we Or should I send this back out to him and ask him to have a little bit more input on that?
I think
Or we're done.
I'd send it back out to him and say, can you go ahead and clean that up so we can, it shows the actual amendment.
And would you like him to show all of the model language changes that we have in here?
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
NFPA 130? Okay,
yeah, we should see that as well.
gotcha. And so scrolling through for 4901.7, NFPA 130 section 5.2.2 looks like he's indicating it should be 5.2.4 in the updated version.
Give me a minute to back 5.2. 5.2.4 is
It actually looks like the state amendment was wrong last year. So if we're looking at the right-hand screen, it says NFPA 130 section 5.2.2 and then goes on to say modify section 5.2.4.3. So I think this section was wrong in our 2021 edition, or is wrong.
no, it makes sense what he did, how he's
Okay.
showing it, but yeah, no, that makes sense how he's showing it.
Okay,
Okay.
so you might want to put that on the errata.
And then when you're done typing, if you can just show that section, the 5.2.4.3, I want to see what he shows us the changes.
It looks like he doesn't have anything other than at the title changing it.
Okay, well, there is a change in the next edition. There's an or, not an and, between the ASTM and the ANSI. When you go down,
Oh,
that's an
5.2.4.3.
or. Yeah, that's an or in the next
Or.
edition.
Yeah.
And crud. 5.2.5. So the 5.2.5.4, if we're gonna go along and have him show what the model code language is, are we gonna then when it says requirements of, the model code says NFPA 101, chapter 12. That we're striking out NFPA 101, chapter 12.
And that's struck out.
Yeah, well, we're striking that out, so because we're writing in International Building Code, chapter 8.
Okay. Okay.
And then the next one down, 5.3.1. Yeah, the model code, I mean, the NFPA calls it the means of egress for a station shall comply with chapter 7 and 12 of NFPA 101. except as modified herein, so.
Yeah, it sounds like he doesn't have the model or the amendments in there, because amendments basically do say the provisions for means of egress, so he's not showing it that as an existing amendment. So we may
Yeah.
want to, we may want to go ahead and have him take one more look at it to make sure we get the existing amendments incorporated into the language.
Do we want to look at what he's got for a suggested change to our amendment? Here, it looks like he's adding.
That should be another amendment. This is green, so he's got that one, but did he miss the other ones? So
Okay.
Yeah, he might just need to take another swing at it.
yeah, I don't want to take too much time on it because we're really kind of getting into the deep weeds of this. So we'll have him take a look at it.
Okay, that works.
But I did with the NFPA 130 reference 2023 into the chapter 80. So we got that. I'll track that. Okay, so we want to go to take a look what we had for, yeah, and Quinn was gone last time too, wasn't he?
Yeah. And so the folks, it was, kind of considered he had a little bit of substantial work on chapter 12, and it might be a little more of a deep dive on that one. So
Yeah.
we kind of elected to hold out for him to be here. And I would, kind of like, because if I steer it or drive it, it's just going to be me scrolling through stuff, and we might kind of go into the deep weeds like we did on the 49 here.
Yeah.
I'm
I think Quinn's got more background to be able to explain some of the things as well too. So I think that we don't want to hold off that one as well.
okay. Well, then that would bring us to the end of our agenda for today, which I didn't expect it to go till 4, but I didn't expect it to be short, especially after a late start. So that kind of wraps up item number 4 for us.
Yep, then I concur with that. We have any public comment or anything on the chapter work? Next, go to other business. Is there any other business?
I would like to suggest something that we did within the building code tag.
Mhm.
They are mentioning having some scheduling issues by us not sending out the meeting invites until, just a little bit before the meeting. So what we were doing for them is we were just sending out Outlook placeholders for the rest of the meetings up until the June meeting. And if it's attractive to the folks here, just so that they can earmark their calendars, we can go ahead and do that for this group as well.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would like some placeholders there. It helps keep my calendar maybe from getting overbooked. Not necessarily I can do it every time, but it would help.
Okay. We will get that out to you here probably by Thursday on this one. And that's all I had for you. I just want to mention we
Yep.
can do that.
Did want to also bring up that the executive committee met last Friday. We did have a couple of positions to fill in the fire tag yet. And unfortunately, there was no quorum. So the executive committee could not do the appointments. And I do believe, Justin, that's on the agenda for the meeting this Friday.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of after some of our public business. But we have those appointments that we have applications for our empty seats. Other tag work that we're doing at the council meeting this week is going to be formalizing the seats for the residential / WUI tag and also the commercial energy code tag. And once we have those established, the tags will be formed but not fully established without having all the seats filled. So if you guys know anybody who might fill some positions within those tags as we identify what they are at next week's meeting or this week's meeting, please encourage them to make a application so that we can try to have the most robust tags that we can out there.
And I do believe from legislative action, we're going to have a couple special tags coming up for the single stairway and the sixplexes as well too.
Correct.
So I had a side meeting with the council person yesterday talking about that particular thing. So I think that too is going to be brought up at the meeting on Friday as well too.
Yep.
So, one thing that, just so the tag is aware of this, is that the previous IFC tag and IRC tag had two tags in the same tag meeting, and it was a little awkward how things were going. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to create a special tag of representation for different tags and not necessarily bringing each full tag into it, because the quorum is a mess and all the other things were a mess. And I see Dustin nodding his head, so thank you. That was a little awkward.
Yes, we,
That was lessons learned.
yes.
So that'll be also discussed, and there'll be some other couple other small tags that dealing with the legislative direction to the council. And that's all I have, unless anybody else has anything else. Okay, at 2:42, we adjourn the meeting for today. Thank you very much for your attendance, and keep an eye on the schedules for the next meeting.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.